Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back here to give you guys my review of the divisional round of the 2016-2017 NFL playoffs. Now, if you guys seen my prediction blog from before, I was 3 for 4 in my predictions. The only one that I got wrong was the Seattle Seahawks and Atlanta Falcons game. And I underestimated the hell out of the Atlanta Falcons, I'll admit it, because I picked the Seahawks to win by, I think I said 7, 6, 7, something like that. But yeah, it was within a touchdown. But yeah, I'll admit it. I underestimated the Atlanta Falcons, but I mean, Atlanta Falcons, they are a run and gun offensive heavy type of team, and it just seems like, especially in the second half, they had the Seahawks had zero answer for the offense of the Atlanta Falcons. But yeah, and Matt Ryan, I think Matt Ryan has pretty much earned the league MVP. It's gonna be a shootout between Matt Ryan and Aaron Rodgers, but I'll get to that game in a second. But all right, next game, not really that much of a prediction. I mean, it was more of a. It wasn't even a matter of who's gonna win. It's a matter of by how many points. I mean, everybody knew that the New England Patriots were gonna beat the Houston Texans. I mean, come on. I think that even if Derek Carr and the Raiders were 100%, I think that they would have had a better chance than beating them than the Houston Texans would, because Brock Osweiler, I mean, it's obvious that he's still wet behind the ears. I mean, come on. I mean, they fought though. I mean, every single team fought, but just imagine if it was Jadeveon Clowney and J.J. Watt was at 100%. Well, Jadeveon Clowney was at 100%, but imagine if they had a 100% J.J. Watt. It would have been a lot more of a competitive game. Probably still the same result, but probably within 7 to 10 points. But I mean, Tom Brady just came out there and just did what Tom Brady always does. I mean, you can't really, go against that. You can't really say any more than that. Now, the next game, the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the thing is, I knew that this game was not going to be a very high-scoring game. I predicted the final score to be like 20-23 for the Steelers, but it ended up being 18-16 Steelers. And Chris Boswell did, all of the offensive scoring. I mean, a record 6 field goals. And it seems like it seems like the Pittsburgh Steelers had an answer for whatever they did. I mean, they took away Tyreek Hill. They took away Sharkandrick West. And even Travis Kelce. We even managed to get Travis Kelce outside of his game. I mean, but and this was a defensive showdown. If anything, the defenses from both sides really did show out. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, I mean, they starting to show shades of their old Steel Curtain self. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger, I mean, he took care of business. I mean, minus that one interception. But the thing, this was the key to victory. All they had to do was not turn the ball over. They only turned the ball over once, which Ben Roethlisberger is good for. But yeah, the defense really did show out, and that's going to be a very interesting matchup between the Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I'll get to that in a second. And now to get to the best game of the entire playoffs. The Dallas Cowboys versus the Green Bay Packers. That was the most exciting game of the postseason so far. Probably the most exciting game of the season. I mean, because, and even though I did pick against Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, they fought to the very end. You got to give that boy Dak Prescott some props. I don't care. I mean, win, lose, draw, whatever. Like, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, they fought their asses off. They really did fight hard. I mean, say what you will about the Cowboys. The Cowboys probably top 5, top 3 most hated teams in the NFL. But, I mean, whether you love them or hate them, you got to give them respect and you got to give them their credit. He don't deserve no Jordan face meme. He don't deserve no L, no hold this L type of meme. Even though he's probably going to get it anyway. But, yeah, he did a lot better. I mean, he did better than Tony Romo. But, I mean, I think he would have done better than Tony Romo if he was in the exact same situation. But Aaron Rodgers, do I even need to say it? Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. He can, I mean, like that. He is like an NFL version of a magician. If you give him an inch to breathe, or if you give him any kind of time, he can make something happen. He can hurt you. And I've been saying that. Like, I mean, it's just hard to believe that it's hard to believe that the Packers went from a team to possibly not being in the playoffs at all to being possible Super Bowl contenders. That speaks volume. And even without Jordy Nelson, and even with Randall Cobb playing at 50%, and even Adams, I think Adams was injured, but I don't know if he'll be back the next game. But they say that Jordy Nelson will probably be back for the NFC Championship, but we'll see. Now for my prediction for the NFC Championship, the Green Bay Packers visiting the Atlanta Falcons. And despite the fact that the Atlanta Falcons are at home in this game, the Packers are the favorite and the Falcons are the underdog. I don't know by how much, but I mean, I'm just spitballing and assuming right now. But despite the outcome of this game, I do still think that Matt Ryan does deserve the MVP award this year. I mean, because he's the most underrated quarterback in the NFL, and it's really about time that he does get the credit that he deserves. But Aaron Rodgers, he's been here before. I mean, I don't think any team is better in a playoff situation on the road than Aaron Rodgers because, as I've said before, I mean, if you give Aaron Rodgers any kind of time, any kind of space, or any kind of breathing room, he can hurt you, and he can hurt you bad. And he proved that against the Dallas Cowboys. Now, keys to victory. What does the Atlanta Falcons have to do? Number one, keep the ball in Julio Jones' hands. Second, he has to set his pace and don't really try to hurry up the ball game. And of course, they're going to have to involve the running game a lot just to open up the pass game to distract them. They're going to have to play action the living hell out of them because if the play action works right and if the draw plays work right, then it's going to throw the linebackers for the Packers for a loop, and that could really help them in the long run. I look forward to this being probably a higher scoring game than the Patriots and Steelers game, but I'll get to that in a second. Now, as far as what the Packers have to do, give Aaron Rodgers time. Give him time to develop, to make those plays work. And the running game, their running game was top notch against the Cowboys. But yeah, and also he can carve up a secondary like that. If he has time, then he can carve up the secondary. But one thing that the Atlanta Falcons have to do is they have to make Aaron Rodgers uncomfortable. The linebackers do have to blitz him. But I might regret this decision later. But I'm going to go ahead and say Green Bay by 6 points. Now, for the AFC Championship game, we've been here like how many times before? The Pittsburgh Steelers visiting the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots, I mean, come on, they submitted themselves as probably the most complete team in the NFL. But Tom Brady is mortal. Tom Brady's human. He's shown that he's not invincible, that he can make mistakes too. And against the Seattle Seahawks earlier in the season, they shown that they can be beat at home against a team with a top caliber defense. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing hell of a defensive ball right now. They're probably top 5 defenses in the NFL right now. But keys to victory. Tom Brady, of course, he has to show out. He has to throw quick draw plays to kind of throw off the defense to get the linebackers to rush him, and he's gonna have to force some penalties too. Their running game is really gonna have to be top notch in this one, even though the linebackers are playing out of this world for the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. Also, what they have to do is, the defense just has to beat themselves. Now, as far as what the Pittsburgh Steelers have to do, give Le'Veon Bell the ball. Quick draw. And they really are gonna have to force the screen plays for theirs. They're gonna have to. The tight end is gonna have to have a 2 tight end set, and tight ends are really gonna have to step up and block for Le'Veon Bell, and they're gonna have to block for short passes, and they can get to Eli Rogers and get to Antonio Brown. And Antonio Brown, say what you want about him. That man is clutch. He does make plays when they matter. And the defense, they just have to beat themselves. James Harrison, 5-star effort. The secondary, I believe that they're going to have to play the secondary back a little bit more, play them 10 to 15 yards off the line of scrimmage, and I believe that the linebackers are going to have to blitz. But I might regret this one too. And, of course, I'm going to go for my home team. But I'm going to go ahead and say the Pittsburgh Steelers by 2. Anyway, that'll do it for this AFC NFC Championship predictions and my review for the divisional round of the playoffs. You guys drop your prediction in the comments and let me know who you think is going to win. I'll be back next week. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.